Hello everyone, and welcome to another Top 5 Records video. And today I'm going to be talking about the 10th studio album by Pink Floyd in the series in which you take a closer look at the discography of Pink Floyd. And it is quite the ride because taking a look at a band's catalog from A to Z, so from the early days to the late days, and listening to all the albums in chronological order, I really noticed differences that I would never have noticed otherwise. Themes, searching for new sounds, a type of insecurity from time to time, and you also notice when something is out of order. Now, with the album Animals, we're getting into a new phase in the career of Pink Floyd, and that's what I noticed. I have it here, Animals. This is luckily a first British pressing, which I found for about $10. Very happy to have it because it sounds incredible. What is interesting here is this album is basically the start of the mostly complete Waters-oriented situation. Because when you take a look at Animals, I wanted to show you the tracklist, but obviously the tracklist is on the back, not on the inside. Often it's on the inside. I'll show you the inside. It's beautiful. They have the lyrics in a beautiful, nice printed inner sleeve. But here on the back side, you can see that these songs are all written by Roger Waters, except for the song Dogs. It's co-written with David Gilmour. Now, basically, on the song Dogs, Gilmour was mostly in for the part of the solo, but this song has an incredible solo. But what is going on here? Because the albums before, there are obviously a lot of writing credits for Roger Waters, but this is the first album in which Richard Wright does not have a writing credit, and David Gilmour's only writing credit is a shared one. The focus of the other band members is shifting, and Waters gets to the front. Gilmour was just got a child. He became a father, and yeah, it was not as much a typical group effort anymore. Nevertheless, when you listen to this album, you can hear the band in full shape, and it's not like the others were not into it. Nick Mason said that he preferred recording this album above Wish You Were Here. Now, this was one of the albums I got into later on. When I started listening to Pink Floyd, I was blown away by The Wall, The Dark Side of the Moon, and Wish You Were Here, and slightly into the final cut. So this was something I got to listen to more often when I got into a Pink Floyd tribute band myself. And we played Dogs, we played Pigs, so almost half or more than half of this album. Now, when you start off this record, it's really good. It starts off with Pigs on the Wings 1, which is a very short, nice, beautiful intro. It's a beautiful love song, and it starts off with the concept of Animal Farm by George Orwell. And pretty often there has been stated that this is a musical translation of Animal Farm by George Orwell, but that's not really the case. Roger Waters on this album puts people into three different types of persons. One, pigs, two, sheep, and three, dogs. Now, in Animal Farm, there is more nuance because, for example, the pigs have a fight amongst themselves. There's one named Napoleon, and there are different visions, and also George Orwell's novel might even be read as a criticism against Stalinism, and this one is, Roger Waters is much more of an anti-capitalist. I'm not gonna dive further into Roger Waters' current situation with politics. But I can tell you that I sold my ticket to his current tour because of what he's doing right now. Seriously, I'm not having it. I'm not being a part of it. I've been to 6 shows of Roger Waters. But what he's currently doing, I'm stepping aside of that. Nevertheless, on this album, it is an anti-capitalist album, which is interesting philosophy-wise. It is triggering, interesting, and the lyrics are incredible. I mean, the song Dogs is mesmerizing. mesmerizing. And there's so much fierce energy in here. You can really hear Roger Waters' anger. And that is something that really gets to the front right now. Pink Floyd has been critical and emotional, but more laid back. But on this album you hear Waters is a frustrated, angry young man. And while the punk generation were arising, and the punks were actually pretty much against Pink Floyd, because even I believe Johnny Rotten wore a t-shirt with "I hate Pink Floyd" written on it, and prog rock was too big and too expensive and too much of an elitism. Some people considered so. Punk was against Pink Floyd, but there is an element of youth anger on this record, and also the anti-capitalism in the lyrics, which is really something different than anti-capitalism right now, I guess. That has an echo in punk music, so he's getting closer. Though this album is brilliantly orchestrated, it's form-wise, it's nothing like punk. It is still tight, focused, beautiful, brilliant Pink Floyd. And when you go to the song "Dogs," that might be David Gilmour's best guitar solo ever. It is so incredible, and it develops in such a beautiful sense. The way these guys are playing together on this album, though it's much more of a Waters album, but it's so incredible. They are at the top of their arts. Now you go to side 2, and there you have Pigs, 3 different ones. And it's, I mean, that's a gorgeous song. During the Us and Them tour, Roger Waters made that song about President Donald Trump with visual images and all, which is very impressive. I really enjoyed during that tour the way he made this record relevant for those days. Pigs is an epic, but Sheep is also an epic. I mean, this album is 3 epics and two beautiful love songs, which are like bookends. And it is, I think, just as much as "Wish You Were Here" or "Madeline Autumn Heart Mother." I think this is a masterpiece of Pink Floyd. It's incredible to listen to, and the more often you give it a spin, the more you get drawn into it. The first time I heard "Dark Side of the Moon," I was immediately drawn into it. The first time I listened to "The Wall," I was immediately into it. Animals was for me much more of a slow burner, but when it burns, it burns like hell. It's beautiful. A gorgeous album. And they're going in such an interesting direction. Seriously. An interesting direction, but that is what was part of the release of Animals, and Roger Waters became much more of an artist in isolation, I guess. That's also what was going on during the In the Flesh tour. He got annoyed by the audience. There was an incident in which he spat into the audience, and that's where he got the idea of building a wall. The isolation of Waters is taking place here, and the isolation is also a reflection of Syd Barrett, in my opinion, or Syd Barrett is a reflection of Waters' own fears. And you can hear it already on "Wish You Were Here," and you notice him here getting more isolated and more frustrated. The thing is, that is, for him personally, bad. I mean, bad, Sheep. You know, bad because he's not having a good time. But that frustration in the music of Pink Floyd gives it urgence and essence, and it makes it awesome. So that's my review for Animals. Please leave a comment below. What do you think of it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And I'll see you in the next video, in which I'll be talking about The Wall. Bye.